Oh, hello there, everybody, and welcome to our virtual programming for this evening. My name is Alex Karolyi, and I'm the artistic director of Shadowpath Theater Productions. Yay! This is exciting. We are happy to bring to you today Drew's story, which is the second story or installation of our apartmental project. And now maybe you're asking yourself, what is apartmental? Well, let me tell you. Apartmental is a project that we've had in the works for about a year and a half. And it was supposed to be stories in collaboration with at-risk youth with a partnership at 360 Kids in Richmond Hill, Ontario, Canada. And we wanted to tell those stories in apartments all across York region. Well, you know what happened next. We had just a little pandemic interruption and we turned our programming into virtual programming. So we are still very, very happy that we are able to have these experiences and these connections to these amazing, creative, artistic, youthful individuals that are helping us bring their stories to the community. Before we jump in, I would love to pass it over to Chantal Forde, who is the director of Drew's Story, for a land acknowledgement.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Drew's Story. This is a story that begins with one boy's move to Canada and how he came to make it home. We've all made Canada home, whether it was in our lifetime or that of our great-great-great-grandparents. This land was forcibly taken from Indigenous people, and that isn't something we can shy away from any longer. We need to actively seek out ways to support Indigenous organizations and voices, and to acknowledge that the lands that we are fortunate to live, work, and create on are the traditional territories of many nations. Because the team that put this play together have joined from so many places, we would like to take a moment to recognize the many lands that we stand on. York Region, Collingwood, and Toronto are traditional territories of the Huron-Wendat, Pétunia, Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Métis, and Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Oshawa, the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, and Baltimore, traditional territory of the Piscataway people. I invite you to take a moment to think about the land that you stand on and what actions were taken in order for it to become home for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantal. And now I would love to pass it over to not just our host for this evening, but also the producer of Drew's Story, and not just the producer of Drew's Story, but ladies and gentlemen, she is also the 2020 Artist of the Year at Shadowpath. So that's the kind of caliber that we are working with this evening. So put your virtual hands together for Tea Nguyen.
You're so funny. I didn't think you would bring that up. Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Shadowpath Theater Productions presentation of Drew's Story. My name is T. I'm the producer of the fantastic play you're about to see. So I met Drew in the fall of 2018 at 360 Kids at Shadowpath's open mic events. And he was such a polite, young, hard worker, entrepreneur. He blew us away with his spoken word poetry. And this fall, I got to host Drew on Shadowpath's podcast, Apartmental, where we work with at-risk youths and share their stories. So Drew opened up about his struggles, his unforeseen immigration to Canada, and his soon after journey of homelessness. We then took that story and created the play Drew's Story, directed by Chantal Forde and written by Alex Karolyi. So what's exciting is afterwards, we're going to have a live talkback session with our cast, the director, and Drew himself. He might be joining us for a little bit. He's also working. That's he's such a hard worker. So he's going to squeeze us in. If you have any questions you want to ask, you can submit them through the chat portal on YouTube. So without any further delay, I am proud to present Drew's story. I hope you guys enjoy it.
You're quiet.
Am I?
I never know what you're thinking about.
I'm thinking about you.
Me?
Are you excited?
I'm kind of nervous, actually. We're up there in a flying metal death trap for 13 hours.
17 hours. You'll be fine.
I know. I brought music, sketch pad, all the Harry Potter books I could find, so I'll distract myself.
I wanted to talk to you for a moment away from your mother and sisters.
Yeah, they're so excited, it's annoying. You can't blame them. It's our first time going to California, or the United States for that matter.
Listen, son, I need you to do something for me.
What?
I need you to take care of your mother and sisters now. Can you do that?
Sure. Why?
You need to be a man now.
I am a man. Just finished high school.
You're an 18-year-old boy.
So you were married at my age.
True, and I rose to the challenge and became the man I needed to be. Life is going to change now.
What are you talking about?
It's time for you to stand up and be the man I know you can be. You're smart and responsible. You can do this.
Gets married?
Stop joking around.
I'm not.
Listen to me, Andrew. You're not going to California.
What do you mean? What are we doing here then? Why do we pack all this stuff and come to the airport?
Andrew?
You're joking, right?
No.
Come on.
Your mother jokes. I do not joke.
We planned this together as a family. For summer break, we said that we would go to California and have avocado shakes.
You're not going to California. You're going to Canada. Your Uncle Malcolm lives there. You remember him?
No.
You met him when you were 6.
Wait, Canada?
Listen to me now. You trust me, right?
Of course.
I wouldn't ask you to do this if I didn't think you could handle it.
Do what exactly?
There's no place for you here in Sudan. I want you to have better opportunities, for all of you to have better lives. Think of your sisters.
Okay.
Son, you're moving to Canada. You'll meet your Uncle Malcolm and all your cousins.
Moving?
You have so much family already over there, and they can't wait to meet you.
That's why we packed so much stuff.
Don't make this difficult.
I'm not. I'm just trying to understand.
Do you remember when you were a child? You would tie the sleeves of your shirt around your neck so that when you jumped out of the trees, you would feel like Superman with a cape.
How do you know about that? You weren't around back then.
The mother told me. I always ask about you, Andrew. You are still powerful, son. You can do this.
Okay. I mean, I'll try, as long as we're all together, right?
I won't be coming. I won't be coming with you, but you know I am always close by.
What?
Call me when you get there, and every day after that.
You're not coming with us?
Not right now.
When?
Listen, just focus on getting there. It's going to be a long journey.
But when will I see you again?
There are border crossings and customs officials. You remember what we practiced?
When are we coming back home again?
You're not coming back, son. Canada is now your home.
Hey, man. Hey, Andrew, right? Nice to finally meet you, cuz.
Hey, yeah, it's Drew. Nice fire.
Yeah, my dad always makes a bonfire at night.
It definitely warms the place up.
Man, it's July. It's as warm as it gets.
For real?
Yeah, man. I see my dad already hooked you up with the good stuff.
Yeah, he says it will make me feel Canadian.
Yo, you haven't even taken a sip.
I don't know. I'm not a big drinker.
It's illegal back home, right?
60 lashes for drinking alcohol, so seems kind of taboo.
What? Are you saying you've never drank a sip of alcohol before?
Of course I have, but still.
Cheers, man. You gotta start sometime. This sure ain't Sudan.
Yeah.
Good flight?
Long, but we saw the Northern Lights, so that almost made it worth it. Then we met your dad in Buffalo and had to wait at the border for like 8 hours. It gave me a lot of time to think.
What'd you think about?
Nothing really. My mind was a blank. I couldn't make sense of anything. Just trying to get focused on being here in one place.
Oh, you made it, cuz. So, what's it like back home?
In Sudan?
Yeah, like lots of terrorists. Like, have you like fired a gun? Do you have a gun? Like, have you like ever seen a terrorist? I mean, is it poor over there? Like, did you have a house? Like, how did you live? Like, you must be happy to be here in Canada.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of sinking in. I mean, I have all of my friends there and Jocelyn. Fuck.
Who's that?
Fuck. That's my girlfriend. She's never gonna understand this.
Don't worry about it. There's lots of nice Canadian girls here, man.
Yeah, but she's my girlfriend. We were making plans, you know? She's gonna hate me.
Send a postcard. Easy.
You have never had a girlfriend, I'm guessing.
Don't hate, cuz. Cheers to new beginnings.
I wonder how long I'm to be here for.
I thought this was it. I thought you were here for good.
I don't know. I think this might just be a trial practice or extended vacation. I don't think there's no way we could just up and move out of the blue. I'll have to go back home sooner or later, right?
I don't know, man. No one tells me anything.
I know what you mean.
Now tell me what's going on over there. Like, tell me your best stories. I want details.
Andrew, your father's on the phone.
I'm not here.
Don't be so disrespectful. It's your father.
I don't fucking care.
You would think you were raised by a bunch of lions.
He doesn't care, so why should I? He left us over here to rot.
Don't start again. He wanted a better life for you. You know that.
Where is he? Why isn't he here? If it's such a better life, why didn't he come with us?
Don't talk that way.
Whatever.
I want you to stay in tonight.
Why?
And have a shower. You smell like beer.
So?
Pastor Jones is coming over to talk to you.
Oh no, not another fake pastor.
Don't say that! What happened to you? You used to be such a good, God-loving boy. Now you don't go to church. You're failing in school. You used to be a straight-A student, Andrew.
Yeah, back home. School is so boring here.
You're hanging around the wrong people.
First I have no friends. Now they're the wrong kind of friends. There's no winning with you.
You're always drinking, Andrew. You stole the car last week. Your father would be so disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed too. And him. I didn't steal the car.
You did. You're lying.
I'm lying? You told me we were going on a fucking vacation to California.
And you took money out of my purse.
No, I didn't.
I can't help you anymore.
Help me? You would have sent me back home the moment I got here. I could have joined the military and done something with myself. There's nothing for me here. Everyone is so cold. No one looks you in the eye. I've been transplanted against my will. Everything's wrong, and you want to know why I can't thrive. You did that to me. You tricked me. You both did.
We did what's best for you.
I should have been told what was really happening. I'm an adult. You're treating me like a child. I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, you're not going back.
I mean, I want to die.
Oh, stop with the dramatics.
I'm going back.
Your father doesn't want you back in Sudan.
Don't say that.
It's true. Call him back and talk to him for once. Then you can ask him for yourself.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to get away from here for good. I could die for all I care.
Shut up. Don't be stupid. You're just saying that for attention. You used to be such a good boy, full of confidence and promise.
Well, I can't help it. I fucking hate myself. Such a loser. What's the point?
You say you want to be treated like an adult, but you sulk like a spoilt brat.
You don't understand. What do you know?
I know that if your father wants you here, then this is where you belong.
You knew we were coming here all along, and you still didn't tell me. That's how much you respected me. You lied to me. You see, you're the liar, so don't be surprised you raised a liar. I had to abandon everything. My friends all hate me. I lost my girlfriend who thinks I'm a piece of shit for not telling her I was leaving. I have no real friends here. There's no future for me here. You ruined my life and you want to know what's wrong.
Some gratitude would be nice, Andrew.
Are you even listening to me?
I want you to meet with Pastor Jones.
No way.
If you don't meet with Pastor Jones, then I want you out of this house.
I was just leaving anyways.
Why can't you just meet with the pastor?
We've already tried that. They're a bunch of hypocrites. I'm not doing it again. I won't.
Get out then.
I was already leaving. I can't trust you anyway. Who knows what you're capable of? For all I know, you'll sell the house and move us to Antarctica this weekend.
Andrew!
Wouldn't even be as bad. At least they have the Northern Lights.
Your mom gave me this to give to you.
I don't want it.
Just take it, man. She's worried about you.
I'm not her problem anymore. She doesn't have to worry.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you sleep last night?
At her friend's?
With those ears? I think you slept right in the park here, man.
Why?
Your ears are bleeding. It's cold. They're cracked. Just take it. I'm sure there's a hat or two in there. You don't want to mess around with Canadian winters, man.
Don't worry about it.
Well, somebody's got to worry. We're family after all.
Family.
Yeah. Why don't you just talk to her at least?
She doesn't want to talk. She wants to yell. She wants to take everything out on me. He left her too, you know? Besides, I don't need her and her fake concern.
Okay. But you got to stop living behind dumpsters, guy.
Sure, I was sleeping in penthouse tonight.
I'm being serious.
Did you bring me some beer at least?
Sorry, man.
Whatever. I can't rely on anyone for anything anymore.
Hey, don't you have like friends or something?
Yeah, of course. I'm staying with a friend tonight. Well, they're having me over for dinner, but they'll probably ask me to stay. So it's all good. Don't worry.
You can come back to Paul Colburn with me.
No. I can't keep living off of others. Makes me feel worthless. Don't worry. I got a plan. I'm working it out.
Okay, cuz if you say so. My dad says you're sleeping under Highway 7 bridge.
How does he know?
He says a friend saw you there.
For real? Wow, small world.
Just places he can go.
You mean shelters? Yeah, I've tried a few. I prefer the park.
Really?
Yeah, those places are for maniacs that can't stop screaming. You have to sleep with your shoes on, hugging your belongings at all times. No thanks.
Suit yourself. I don't understand why you're doing this anyways. What you're trying to prove? Just go home.
I can't, man. I don't want to be caught off guard again. I don't expect you to understand what that's like. I just want to stand on my own 2 feet. I want to be independent.
Is being homeless and being independent?
I don't know. All I know is I don't want to have to count on anyone for anything anymore. Let's just say I'm toughening up my mind and spirit so that I can handle whatever life throws at me.
You sound like your dad.
What?
I used to always look up to your dad. He was respectable, clean cut, good natured, professional. He just always had a good head on his shoulder.
Not sure about his heart, though.
Don't say that. He loves you.
Right. Where's your dad? At home in Port Colborne. You'll probably see him tonight. Where's mine? Who the fuck knows?
He called yesterday.
Still soaking up the Sudanese sun with his other family?
What are you talking about?
Just a theory.
Are you drunk, man? It's like 10 a.m.
I wish. How could I be? It's not like this park has an open bar.
He wants you to call him.
Sure he does.
Okay, well, I'm just a messenger. I'm not going to get caught in the middle. So I'm sure you know what's best for you.
But I know I can't trust that family. I'd rather make my own decisions about my own life.
I hear you, cuz. Well, just stay warm and go to that dinner tonight because you're looking scrawny. And put some Vaseline on those ears before you lose them.
Andrew, are you there?
Yeah, Dad. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Andrew, hello. It has been some time.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
I'm glad you got in touch finally. I've been calling your Uncle Malcolm regularly to get updates. How are you? Where have you been? Where are you now?
At a friend's. I'm using their computer.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad to see you. You look well. You look older.
I started working out again, so that's helping, that's for sure.
This friend is a girlfriend?
No, just my friend Aaron. I've been staying here now for about a year, I guess.
That long?
All this bouncing around from place to place was getting tired. But I'm leaving soon, don't worry.
And school?
Yeah, I'm in school.
That's good. Your mother will be happy to hear.
I haven't talked to her in a while, actually.
I know. She told me. She's here now.
She's there with you?
Yes. She came back. You'll go to your sister's wedding this summer?
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
What's to think about? We'll be there and it will be like a family reunion.
Yeah.
What are your plans now?
My plans, well, I'm really into design and marketing. So I'm focusing on that, maybe get into branding. I'm going to leave Aaron's next week.
Why?
I've been here too long. I don't like to burden people, you know.
You were never a burden, Andrew.
Right.
Andrew?
Anyways, Aaron's mom has helped out a lot. Yeah, we were driving around Richmond Hill the other day, actually, and I asked her about this random place we were passing by. Seems like it might be an option. There's regular meals and stuff, which is a huge motivator. You know me and food. I'm just trying to stay focused on real independence, you know? If I get too comfortable here, then that won't happen. That's why I have to leave. Find my own footing.
You should have stayed with your mother, taking care of your sisters.
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work. I had to empower myself first, I guess. But I'm focused on moving forward, getting a job, getting my own place. That's the plan.
I hope I'm a part of that plan too.
Yeah, you are, Dad. You always will be.
Good, good. So we'll see you at your sister's wedding then.
Yeah. I think I can make it. Where is it again?
California.
You're joking, right?
Yeah. I'm just kidding with you.
I thought you didn't joke around.
Well, a man can change, Andrew.
Yeah, I know.
The short answer is believe in yourself. That's really all it comes down to. That's, I think, the only challenge that I had, the only challenge that I've ever had to overcome. And I think it's really the only challenge anybody has to overcome.
Yay! I hope you guys enjoyed that. That warmed my heart seeing that because I know Drew so well. If you guys had some connection issues in the world of Zoom in 2020, we will be releasing the full recording. So if you had any delays or pixelation issues, you can see the full video. We will release it after tonight. And now we are moving into the talkback session of tonight's event. So I want to take a moment and have the director and all of the cast introduce themselves. Andrew, if he's on. Donnell, hi everyone.
Hi.
All right, each unmute yourselves one by one and introduce yourselves for us.
I go first? Okay. I'm Donnell E. Smith. Sorry. I played Drew, and it is a pleasure to be here, to have made it. I almost thought I was going to miss this because I had an impromptu trip on the road to pick up my nephew in Virginia. So I'm happy to be here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Daniels, and I'm a union actor. I'm glad to be a part of, this is my first Shadow Path production, and also my first virtual production. I've enjoyed playing the role of the father. Glad to be a part. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tsholo Khalema, and I am an actor, director, and dab in all kinds of things in arts, including painting, and I'm a forklift driver as well. So I play Shawn in this production, a Drew story, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Hello, bonjour, everybody. My name is Astrid, and I'm a performer, pirate, and an opera singer, and I play the mother in Drew's story.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chantal. I directed this piece. I'm a director and writer and have worked with Shadow Path for many years. So it was really exciting to be a part of this project.
Okay, thank you guys so much. Welcome. You guys were fantastic. I love that. That warmed my heart. Chantal, please let me know if Drew signs on. We'll have him introduce himself, and I have some questions for him. But my first question to all the cast and the director, what responsibility did you all feel telling this very honest story? Did it impact you in ways you didn't expect, especially being able to meet Drew? Anyone can go unmute yourselves and go ahead.
I think for me, meeting Drew virtually brought the story to life. I love the work that we did behind the scenes, discussing the story and what it meant. But being an immigrant myself here in Canada, although my story is not like his, I'm born in the United States of America first. Oh, there's Drew. We should probably give him time. But I had a wonderful time, and let's just pause and give Drew some time. He's here now, so that's great.
Drew, hi.
What's going on, guys?
We're already getting such fantastic feedback. All these comments are so nice. That play was awesome. Everyone already introduced themselves. You want to take a second and introduce yourself for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Drew Elias, or Andrew. I go by Andrew, and I am the guy that you've been hearing so much about. Here I am, finally. I was homeless, and I ended up at 360. That's where I met Alex and the lovely people from Shadow Path, and they asked me to be a part of this play, and I was very honored. So thank you, guys. Thank you all for showing up, and
Okay, Drew, I'll repeat the first question. So this is, to the cast and directors, what responsibility did you all feel telling a very honest story impact you in ways you didn't expect, especially being able to meet Drew? Bobby, do you want to continue on with what you're saying?
It was amazing finally meeting him virtually and putting a face to it. I think that helped bring the story to life for me. I read the script several times, even before I started committing to the lines, and just really trying to understand the context, trying to understand everyone's perspective, especially playing the role of the father and what that could have meant. But I think, again, just meeting Drew kind of put the icing on the cake, just saying this is a person who experienced this. So it meant so much more actually putting on this production?
Agreed. It was a major gift getting to meet Drew, especially stepping into his shoes and being in his world. So I was grateful for that opportunity, and for me, it was just a matter of honoring every step that Drew took to get to where he is today, in the world of the play. So I hope I did that, Drew, and it was just a joy getting to build that world and to explore that world with all of my castmates, and Chantal, our director, is just wonderful.
Yeah, it was definitely an honor to be part of this story. And it's nice to put a face to the story. We don't often get a chance to do that. Drew's story is so similar in many ways to my own, not being born in Canada and being an immigrant and coming here and having to assimilate into this society. And so this was like an absolute pleasure to sort of, and also to play a character that I'm just not familiar with Shawn. He's just so, in a way, oblivious to a lot of things and is privileged. So it was really cool. Thank you.
Hi. I found that as an actor, it's different when you're playing a character who's fictional and then playing a real person, and then to be able to meet a family member of that real person. It took my character to a different level. I feel like once I met Drew, my mother character, she took a different turn. And I also wanted to pay respect to his story. So it was very nice to meet Drew.
Chantal, did you want to add anything from the director's point of view of responsibility?
Sure. Yeah, it was a really interesting. It was an interesting process. So I had met Drew briefly, but not spoken about the story. But I listened to the interviews, and it was interesting to see what he had said and then what the actors would bring to it without giving them all of the information so they could still have that journey to discover the character on their own and put their spin and their honesty and bring their life to it as well. But then honoring everything that he had shared and his journey. And so finding the balance between that was, it was interesting and wonderful and beautiful just to hear everybody share their stories and experiences and feelings and thoughts towards it. And then also hearing his interviews and then speaking with Drew and then the moments when they got to meet each other. So it was a really nice blend, and it was special. It was special to see their stories as humans and individuals meet the real story of somebody else and then combine it in a theatrical way. So it was lovely.
Okay, my second question, Drew. I have two that are similar, so I'll kind of combine it for you. So Drew, what emotions or feelings did you experience through this entire process, from the podcast to now seeing your story shared with the public, especially by terrific professional actors? And the second part of that was, what did you want to share your story with Shadow Path, and how does it feel to be to see it come to fruition in play?
It was amazing. Honestly, it really was. I have nothing but love for Tea, obviously, and she's been such a huge supporter, so caring. Like she put me in a very positive space when I didn't have a chance to do that, when I was just constantly dealing with, being homeless, not having a job, constantly wondering what the future was going to look like. So it was amazing. I'm glad I managed to be a part of this process and that my story was interesting enough to warrant a play. Honestly, I'm very honored. I feel really, really good about that. And I think, it was weird going through the play and seeing how it was interpreted into kind of how do I say this? Like more of a sort of like acting. It's on the theater. That was different from the actual reality of what my life was. But the way it's being portrayed is, I could see that there was a lot of effort that went into this, and I really did appreciate that a lot. I appreciated being able to speak with who played my dad. Was it Bobby Daniels? Yeah. So in the rehearsal we were talking, and he brought something up about, with my dad reaching out and saying, where are you now? That's something that I'd been thinking about for almost the past 3 years. And to hear him say, because he's a father as well, and he understands, he has kids. It was something in the back of my mind, like this, my dad cares. But it's hard to feel that way when you're in the situation and you feel like you're by yourself. So it was really, I guess you could say, therapeutic in a way to just kind of watch this play and just sort of look back. And yeah, it's amazing. I see Nicole asked a question here about the turning point. T, do you want me to go ahead and answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the turning point for me definitely was one specific moment when I was at 360 Kids. I got in an altercation with somebody who decided that it was okay to smash my speakers, and the cops were called. Both of us were kicked out. This was in December, I believe it was December 13th. So another 15 days and it would have been my birthday. I was out on the streets in -40 weather, and they said, you can't come back for another 30 days. So I lived on the underpass of where the Highway 7 bridge was. I was there for a couple of days. And I'll never forget this because a friend of mine drove by and he saw me, but he didn't recognize me because my ears had cracked so much from the cold. There was blood just coming down all over my face. And he saw me. He's just like, no human being should be out in this weather. So he brought me into his house. And at that time, just sitting there, I had a chance to really just think to myself about what I want to accomplish with my life, and just about responsibility. Like I just thought, if I had put in enough work, if I had stayed more disciplined, even though it's not fair specifically, I could have been more disciplined. I could have made more money. I could have saved more money. And I think that for me, just having that conversation with myself is what allowed me to start my own graphic design business, move to a beautiful apartment on the Danforth, which I had given up since the explosion that happened in Lebanon. For anybody here who doesn't know, I'm riding around Canada on my bicycle trying to raise money for all the people who were impacted by the Lebanese tragedy. And I've had friends and family members who were lost in that situation. So for me, I just, took all my clothes, I sent everything. I'm at a point in my life right now where there's very few things that could be taken from me because I've had that built up over my experiences. But to kind of just go back to the question, that was the moment that I knew I had to change. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
For the cast, do you have any experience with immigration or homelessness? If not, what things did you draw on to create your character?
Well, for me, some of the things, again, I am an immigrant here. My story is a little bit different because my wife is from Canada. And so we married and she moved to the States and then we moved back here. I will say that I struggled somewhat. I struggled somewhat with the culture because I had never been around such a diverse such a level of diversity in terms of relationships. But the friends that I'm forming now and the partnerships that I'm forming, connections that I'm forming are all multiracial. They're all different creeds, different backgrounds, different sexualities, different preferences, being here in Canada. So I will say I love this land that I'm fortunate enough to live in because of the diversity. But in terms of the struggle and hearing even now your story, Drew, where you are and that turning point, I just think it's really just an amazing experience. Someone commented that you have a lot of courage. And when that posted, I was thinking the same thing. I'm sitting here like the fact that you look well, you look like you've eaten well, you're living well. And I'm drawing strength from him because there's a common saying that says, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And as of course we can see, it has made you stronger. So I'm just sitting here sulking and drawing all of the strength and the courage from you so that I can apply it to my life, because everyone can draw something from this about reaching beyond the break Sometimes life, it feels like things are going to break, but Drew, you reached beyond that. And here you are here to tell this story. And now you're paying it forward. I mean, listen at what you just said you're doing. Amazing. You're amazing. Like, you're a hero already, you know?
The rest of the cast, what things did you draw on to create your character?
Hello. So, I was born in Canada, but I'm first generation Canadian, and I understand my place as to be kind of like a bridge from back home to like what is this North American culture that we have going on right now. And I just find that the fact that Drew was able to tell his story was so beautiful, because I know a lot of people in the immigrant community who don't tell their story and who keep their personal what happened to them, whether it be good or bad, to themselves, and that they think that they just don't need to express or tell people about it. And it's something like, I don't know, it's a weird thing where you try to keep things to yourself. Nobody needs to know your business, which is totally fine, but then nobody can learn. And I really respect the fact that Drew was able to put pen and paper down and let everybody hear this story, because I think it's very important for us to know what's going on for somebody who comes into this country and how they feel when they are met with people who don't maybe not like them for no apparent reason, or the experiences that they had and the struggles that they had, and that it's not picturesque. Because I also feel like a lot of people back home think, oh, you're in Canada, you're doing great, you must have a lot of money, send me some money. But this is all like personal experience coming from my family, and I know my family does not like to talk a lot, and I feel that's unfortunate. And so I'm just want to give kudos to Drew for like stepping up, and I hope more people do that in the future.
I would like to also second that in terms of dealing with family and back home and adjusting. It's like there's an illusion or a different idea of what living abroad looks like. And telling these kind of stories like just reminds me of myself. I was once homeless too. My parents still don't know. It's one of those things that it's like embarrassing in many ways. And so I drew from my own experiences, but also like I had to look at the people that were there to help me. And I had to look at the people that were around at that time and the things that they said to help me or not help me. And so that was my kind of like character information, is like other people, because my story is so similar to Drew's in a sense of like immigration, homelessness, adjustment, and assimilation into this society. And also working hard, like constantly working to better yourself. So, and also like, because you know the struggle, the fact that you're out there wanting to help and raise funds for other people just says a lot. And so like, just it makes the whole story even more rich. Because you're continuing to better yourself in many, many ways. And you don't pity yourself. You don't pity your story. You're saying, this is what I went through, and I still have to live and move on. So kudos to you, Drew, and to this beautiful story that continues to grow. And yeah, I'm just really glad to be part of it again. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, guys. So I have a question from Jessie, who was featured in our first Apartmental podcast and play. So hey, Jessie, shout out. Jessie's a fantastic singer and artist. I just wanted to say that quickly. Drew, what advice would you give for people who have difficulties adapting to new situations?
Hey, that's a really, really great question. By the way, Jesse, I'm so happy to hear from you again. It's honestly been a while. Thanks for coming to the play. Big shout out to some other people as well. Jesse Singh in the building. Good to see you as well, brother. So yeah, adapting to new situations. I've said this before, and I always keep coming back to it, and it's almost starting to sound like redundant, but it really always comes down to the same thing. It's like, just believe in yourself. When we're young, when we're kids, and we want to do something, we always ask permission. You ask your parents for permission. You ask your mom, your dad, your uncle, or whoever it is that's guarding you, and we seem to forget that you just one day grow up and you have to give permission to yourself, and that's the part that we never allow ourselves to do. So if you're whenever I'm in a new situation, or the first time I'm in 360 Kids, or even when I went on this journey, actually I was pretty much by myself. Like, there's nobody else cycling with me, right? So I had to go to different areas. I passed through Barrie, I passed through Collingwood. I didn't know anybody here, and I had to give myself permission to basically just excel in life, to go out and make friends, to be happy. I had to give myself permission to do that. And if I didn't do that, I would have just sat in my room, and it would become my dungeon. And I would just, start thinking back to, how stupid I could have been. Why did I leave? I had something good going. That this person who told me I couldn't do it was right. That person who said I'm stupid was right. It all just comes down to just believing in yourself, and then like you could accomplish a lot. You could accomplish a lot, whatever it is you want. I know you do singing, which I think you're absolutely amazing in. And you ever notice like how at first it takes somebody believing in you, like T, for example, who's absolutely wonderful, love you, and she'll give you that positivity, that energy, that confidence. But after a while, we need to kind of just do it for ourselves. So I think just approaching any new situation with boldness and courage, and just believe in yourself.
We had a sweet question from Victoria. Does Drew have access to any help he may need now? If not, what is missing? Drew, are you good? Do you need anything? Victoria's looking out for you over here.
Victoria, you're the best. Thank you so much for asking that. I am good. I am really, really good. Thank you very much. I'm safe. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm really strong. What I do need is to just raise funds for the people of Lebanon and try to get as much money raised so that we can start helping these people out. I've known some of these people personally. Just to give you guys a quick background, there was an explosion that happened. It ripped through the entire city. Some of the homes that were damaged, the landlords went and took pictures of the damages that were caused by this explosion and cited it as tenant damages to the building. And the courts are just letting this happen because we're not in Canada. This is how life is outside of, and for anyone who's an immigrant understands that you don't have things like rights and things are not fair. So I'm just trying to do my best here because, for me, it's a matter of just, if it was like as little as $300, that could fix an entire person's business. And then that business feeds a family and it feeds a community and it helps a larger group of people. So my thing is just, if you can do as much as you can this Christmas to, gift to somebody who's in need. It doesn't necessarily have to be Lebanon. You could have other causes that you care about, but just give. That's it. Just give.
I'm not even surprised by that, Drew. Not surprised by that answer at all. My last question for the evening is to the artistic director of Shadow Path, the writer of the play, Alex. Alex, how closely did the play stick to the real life facts, and how did you choose when to fictionalize moments?
Sure, yeah. I'll answer that in a few moments. I think you cannot tell someone else's story without them. I think that it needs to be mostly about them. And then when it came to Drew, you can see that he's a very open book, really. He's very charismatic and energized. And the more time you spend with Drew, the more you get to know different facets about him and his background and his story and his experience. And so you get the essence of Drew. and what it is he is important to him, and the characters in his life that have impacted him. And it was not one thing, it was many things. We met Drew 2 years ago at 360 Kids. We worked with him, as T mentioned, in a podcast where we interviewed him for hours and hours and hours. And through those conversations, and then more conversations and more investigation into what makes him tick and what makes him Drew, and who's important and what's important to him. So, I mean, even just coming up with what characters out of Drew's life are we featuring in this play? That was sort of question number one. Like, we could have featured his friends or his sisters, but we didn't. We featured his parents, his cousin, because I wanted to highlight these different phases or stages of his life. So whenever I would write something, I would send it to Drew and I would say, let's talk about this. Let's have a conversation about what you like, what you don't like, what doesn't sound right. What did we miss? What do we need to take out? And we shaped the play together. So, Drew might say, this part doesn't really ring true here. So we would work on that or cut that. For example, I don't know if Drew necessarily had a conversation with his cousin in a park in Richmond Hill, but the essence of what he was going through at that time and that relationship in his life with his cousin, I felt needed to be portrayed or represented in the story. And so Drew worked with me to make that as authentic as possible. So I mean, I would never put something that was totally, random or something that Drew has never mentioned. So I just took everything that Drew said and the characters that I thought made sense to portray, and I formatted them in a 5-scene, 1-act play with some, as you'll notice, like Drew is so profound with his philosophizing, and I wanted to capture some of that with his quotes on his life and life in general. So we sort of added that as a transition in between scenes, and it just sort of all came together. Did that answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. Do we have time for one more question? You guys, yeah? Okay, it's for Drew. As a fellow immigrant, I felt at home in Canada right away. How long did it take for you to feel at home in Canada?
Really, really great question. I don't know if I can say like a specific time frame, like if I was here for a year, if I was here for 2 years. I think there's specific moments that I can look back on that make me feel like I was a Canadian. And probably one of those moments I would say was I attended Memorial Day in downtown Toronto, where they were honoring all the veterans. And we had all these veterans, coming by, and some of them just had like all these badges and stripes. And it was like, they'd earned so much and done so much for the country as well. And one thing that struck me was this one guy. I can't remember his name, but I do remember he was a high-ranking sort of official. And I just went over and I said hi to him. I shook his hand, thanked him for his service. And I asked him if I should join the military. And he kind of had like a dad conversation with me, which made me, it actually did remind me a lot of my dad. And I thought about that a lot on the way back on the subway. I was like, here's this random stranger who pulled me aside and pretty much gave me golden gems, like just absolute, really, really good advice that most people don't get. And he's not my friend. He doesn't owe me anything, but he gave me his advice and he invited me over to his house. I didn't end up going, but I did go like at a later date, and he still keeps in touch with me, right? And he didn't see me as an immigrant. He just saw me as someone who supported the troops, who respected what these guys were doing. And that, I think, was probably the most Canadian moment of my life. Having poutine as well. When I had poutine, I felt very Canadian, but that's not as deep as the whole military thing. So we'll stick with the first one. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I swear this will be the last question because Jesse Singh is asking a question. I really don't want to get roasted by him at the next stand-up open mic night at Shadow Path because I know he's going to do that. He just roasts everyone, so I got to ask his question. One thing that resonated with me the most was the feeling of guilt Drew spoke about in not being able to fit the mold of his family. What made you finally overcome this feeling and decide to follow your own path in life? Also, big ups to homie. That's what he said.
Big ups to you too, man. Dude, I actually miss you so much. Thank you for being here. This is a really Jesse, for those of you who don't know, is a ball of positivity. That's it. A ball of just love and positivity. And this was one of the people at the base that just showed me nothing but love, nothing but kindness, and really set me up to succeed in life. To answer the question, I think I have to go back to the moments that I got to have phone conversations with my dad and learn that it was okay that I took the path that I did. Because it was only in having those conversations that I realized my biggest fears were not realized. Because before, I wouldn't speak to my dad for a year, sometimes for 2 years, and he would be really busy. But I would get the text, right? I would get the, how's school? What are you up to? And then he'll just say, I'm very busy. Internet's not good. We'll catch up as soon as we can. And then 2 years later, or about a year into me being at 360 Kids, my sister got married. She had the wedding, right? And that was the first time I had seen him in about 3 years. And I was so nervous about this, but he could kind of he could sense that something was off. And he asked me if I wanted to go to Starbucks. So we went to Starbucks. We sat there for an hour and we just talked, right? I asked him about marriage. I asked him how he felt about mom, about whether I should have kids and what career path I should take. And he didn't say, I'm upset that you left your mom behind, or I'm pissed that you didn't finish your degree. He just gave me advice. And he said, listen, I think you're really smart. I've always been proud of you, in case you didn't know that. Now I'm telling you, so me and my mom love you a lot. It's okay. You don't have to come home. And I think just having that acceptance, and it was like the first time that we just had like a man-to-man talk, and I just looked him in his eyes, and he was just like, you're okay. And that's I'm glad, because I have friends whose parents aren't alive, so they never got to have that conversation. So I'm eternally grateful that I got a chance to have that talk with him. So yeah.
Yay, that was so nice. That made me smile so big. Okay, guys. Yay, we did it. That concludes tonight's event. Yeah, this project was funded by Canada Council for the Arts. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll share it with your friends and family. If you want to hear the full podcast, you can find it on Shadow Path's website. We will release a recording for anyone who wants to see it again and share it. For upcoming events, visit shadowpaththeater.com, and you can check out 360kids.ca to learn more about their initiatives. I also posted the link for the GoFundMe. Do your thing, guys. Let's hit 10,000 by 1 hour from now. That's the goal. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for the cast, the producers, the director. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Bye. Until next time.